low catches him! Darks has got to break. And I love the way Darks is using that armor right now. Down one. Down one again. You gotta remember, Darks does play Mari on a regular basis. One of the better Scorpions on the NA side of things. Okay. Overhead, no good. But Distorted uses his armor. This is still close. The jump in catch. Is this gonna be enough? There's no way. No, he drops it. And another grab. Here comes Farah. There's 18 seconds on the big board. Darks cannot break. This is still anybody's ball game. Is he gonna spin the fatal? And I think this is gonna do it, chat. Here in the corner, Demise has got a block, but he's not in Subby with a very, very comfortable lead. Good grab, and here comes the throw combo. And your mom with a $3 tip, Mr. Ratchet. Is that you? 48 on the board. Thank you so much. 4-4. Below. And another low, and Subby, this should do it. And Subby is going to take this tournament by a score of 3-1. Sonya, Banshee, with all the steam in their engine right now. Tazzy has not gotten to play even once. What a grab out of the glaive. I didn't even know you could do that. Okay. And again, another grab. Tazzy starting to kind of warm up here. Good stuff again, though. We are not done. Venom's having a great time, and so is Ankle Tony. And Banshee looks like they're going to end it. Tazzy's got a break. There it is. And that is going to do it. Banshee is going to win their very first tournament.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Poseidcast. With me tonight, I am joined by a fellow TO, because I TO as well. He's been doing a lot of big things over in the Mortal Kombat 1 community, especially in the EU and CIS region, I think that's what it's called. But, you know, all over the world, has been hosting events for North America as well. I am joined tonight by Vape Coach. Vape Coach, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me. It's a hell of an intro, by the way. Appreciate that.
Was it? Oh, really? I
you wrote that down. That's a Chat GPT intro. You typed that one up, man.
Shit, man. You got me.
I love this.
We got it right in there. The host of Vapes Fight Night, Shark Tank. Try to listen to them all.
Yeah, no, it sounds like quite the paragraph. No, I'm doing good, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you having me, man. I watch a lot of these, by the way. These are cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, thank you for having coming on. Trying to get you on for a little bit, but you know, it's hard. I had to pay you a lot of money to get on here, so
it's literally yeah. It's per word, man. So I'm trying to talk as much as I can, as you can see clearly. Yeah,
I'm clearly typing in ChatGPT right now how to make this the longest word I can say.
Yeah, how to turn every word into a paragraph. Let's figure that out.
Amazing, man. So, what got you into tournament organizing, especially for Mortal Kombat 1? What got you into it?
It all started when I was a child. No, it was back in 2019. Tournament hosting for me. I didn't even know you could do this. I didn't even know you could host your own events. Like, I didn't know anything about it. I was just somebody who, I enjoyed MK11. I didn't know anything about there being an actual community or nothing like that. I just saw that there were pros. And I used to watch the events every single weekend. It felt like a Super Bowl to me, like all these great players at these offlines and stuff like that. And then COVID hit. And then I realized, like, oh, there's other events going on that are not, like, sponsored by NetherRealm or anything like that. And then I started kind of digging, and I was like, hey, how do you do this? And this and that. You start talking to people who are semi-acquainted with the community. And then next thing you know, you're slowly making those upgrades. You need, like, a laptop. That was my first thing. And then before you know it, we're hosting tournaments. And, yeah, it's been fun. It's for better or for worse. We've been doing it for the past 3-4 years, and you've been right along there with me. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. That's awesome, man. You've been recently you've been streaming basically like almost every day. Has it just been something that's like, oh, this has worked out, so I'm just gonna keep doing it, or is it like you kind of decided like I'm just going to just run a bunch of events and see what happens?
As far as every single day, I would say well, I mean, it's basically my job at this point. I've been able to shift focus to this being, this is primarily what I do for a living.
That's awesome.
And yeah, no, it's something that I've wanted to do for a while. And Yeah, no, just consistency. That's always been something that's kind of been like bled into me as far as like what you need to do, in order to make things work. And so as far as going live every single day, I mean, um, yeah, no, I like doing tournaments. They're fun.
Yeah, no.
They're cool to run through, and and if you got players that want to play, get them in, get them on.
So I really like your commentary style. I'm not sure if you're out there, if you watched.
I knew this was coming at some point.
You watched a Vape Coach event. Yeah, he's usually on commentating by himself. I mean, sometimes he has people on here and there, but usually just him, and he's just you're always able to bring this energy that I feel like a lot of people enjoy. So maybe some people don't. I'm sure. I know you talked about you have to get some comments on YouTube side of things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they love, for some reason, YouTube particularly loves to comment on commentary. Like it's like half the comments are like, this commentator sucks or something like that. Not saying for you, but saying like just for like my experience.
No. I get them too. I mean, you're not gonna be able to please everybody, man.
That's very true.
You just gotta hope that you do something that's enough for. Wait, what was the question again? I want to make sure I bring this back. What was the question?
I didn't really ask a question, so I'm kind of glad that you started talking. So I was like, I didn't really lead into a question. So
I realized I was kind of branching out. I'm like, wait a minute, how do I bring this back?
You don't need to bring it back. I was just hoping you would gotta take it. But I was saying, like, you have this commentary style. It seems like high energy, and you're hosting events. You're doing the production in the background and stuff like that. Your production value is pretty high. I see from your events and stuff like that, the transitions, things like that. How do you keep up, like, one, paying attention to what's going on, into like kind of like that energy that you're, because I think, as someone who also commentates, it's just hard to like be like, okay, I'm changing the score, and then it's like, oh, well, now watching the match, and this is happening, or now someone said something in chat, and I'm talking to, you know what I mean? Right.
No, I fully understand what it is you're saying. Honestly, dude, for me, how do I explain? As far as solo commentary goes, dude, I listen to a lot of podcasts myself. I listen to a lot of guys like Tim Dillon, Bill Burr, and for me, they're some of the most entertaining podcasts, and they are solo. It's just them sitting there riffing for an hour, and so it's something I always gravitated towards. We used to do a lot of dual commentary back in the day, even triple commentary back in the day. But what I realized somewhere along the way is, it's actually, for me at least, I'm not saying for everybody, everyone has their own style, but for me, it's less is more. If it's just me sitting in front of my computer screen, I don't have to worry about feeding it to a commentator, them feeding it back to me, us getting this rhythm. If it's not good for that night, then maybe it throws me off. So it's always been something where I'm kind of like, I feel in control if I'm sitting here talking. And as far as the high energy goes, man, I really don't know how that started. It was just something we did one day. It was started off kind of like a joke, and then people were like, oh, this is hyping me up. So I'm like, all right, let's keep it going. So I've actually kind of locked myself into this character. But when the chat's going crazy, man, you definitely do feel it, at least on my end. But as far as like keeping your mind on everything that's in front of you, I guess we've just done so many of these that you kind of know your rhythm. Your brain kind of knows where to go from here, if this happens. It's just an ultimate form of repetition. And there are days where I take like 3 days off, and I'll come back and I'm like, what even is this?
Like how do I do this? Like,
yeah, it's so weird how quickly you can fall out of it, because I'm in the Discord, I'm managing players, we have people on stream, chat's talking to me, and but if you do it like every single day, you just kind of get like a brain for it. Like, and I'm sure you can feel this as well, man. But like, it's just something you kind of get used to. But yeah, no, just solo commentary. It's oddly enough for me, less is more, I would say.
That's a really good perspective, because I've always, like, the way we've done it on SRS. It's always like, for a while it was just Scat and I. We were hosting the events and we were commentating together, stuff like that. So I never really did solo stuff, but I've been doing a lot of solo commentary on the Injustice 2 tournaments. Basically, every time it's just me on the mic, and I'm just I'm doing the bracket, I'm doing the stream and stuff in the background, stuff like that. So sometimes it's just like I almost like can't even.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, exactly. So you almost can't even like focus on the match or stuff like that. Which is that's where the YouTube commenters love to come in and be like, he's not even talking about the match. I'm like, bro, I don't know what you expect. I'm a Superman. I'm not Superman. Superman's in the game, bro. I'm not. He's not. I'm not playing. I'm not him.
Sure.
So it's definitely admirable for sure.
what I would say is there was a point there where I was like I was not talking about the matches at all. It became me trying to just make everyone laugh the entire time. And then I would get comments like that, especially here on the Twitch channel. They would say, hey, you're not talking about the match. So I kind of overcorrected and I said, all right, you guys want me to talk about the match? I'm going to talk about the match.
Nothing but
and
the match.
yeah, I'm going to basically make it seem like this is DEFCON 3 right now. Everything that's going down is hell. But what I would say is about over engaging with the match is somebody told me this once. I forgot who it was, man, but they said if you don't care about what you're showing people, then why should they care? I think it was Chael's son. He didn't tell it to me, obviously, but I remember he said it on a podcast. He said that because there's UFC fighters, they'll say after a win, I don't care who I have to fight, just bring them to me. And the answer should be you should have a name in mind, because if you're not caring about what the promotion is going to give you, why should they care? So if I'm able to hot people up and give them, you know, the experience that they won't forget, then maybe they'll come back, man. Hopefully, if we're fortunate enough, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely, definitely. Because like when it comes to the match, there's only so much you can say. Like there's almost so much you can say when someone, you know, somene's playing Cyrax and they're throwing the bombs on the ground and it's like, oh, he got hit by another bomb. Like he's just like, you're going, I hit another bomb. Like,
He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah. It's like the fade out. He's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how do I explain? There is only so much you can say what's going on, but I've kind of, I wouldn't say I've created the system, but I've kind of used it to my benefit, where chat is basically the second commentator. One thing I learned though, because I took a significant portion off doing events for this game. The entire time I was just trying to kind of learn, study, and figure out because I was very unhappy with how events were going. I would say the end of 2023, so I took a lot of time off, and I would say, what was it I was doing wrong? What was it I needed to correct? And the biggest thing was I noticed, and others were pointing this out to me, I wasn't really talking to chat very much. I would sit there and if you showed up, hey, what's up, Poseidon? It's great to see you. And then after that, it's pretty much we're going right back to the match. And now the style is Poseidon comes in, hey, what's up, man? You say something else, and we're gonna bring that up as well. Every time somebody talks, I mean, not every single time, but you know, address it. You know, make them part of the conversation. So that's something I've really tried to kind of get under my belt.
Because then that's going to make them engage more, and then that gives you more things to talk about, and then it kind of like almost feeds into itself in a way. Think about it like that.
It's a conversation, you know, we're having. I think I had this idea in mind that I'm just putting on this production to where like it's an esports thing where I'm like an actual commentator for something, and but it's not that case. It's me and a bunch of friends in the community that we hang out with coming through. You're seeing your friends every day, talk to them as such. That's something that I think I understood. It works for me. Obviously everyone has a different style, but I would say that's something that really kind of benefited what we have going on.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I noticed when you're running the events, you say like, oh yeah, these events are sponsored by the community, and I think that's a really good sentiment. Obviously, I know like a lot of events you've been doing, like with the Shark Tank. Did you even put up a prize pool for that, or is that all crowdfunding? No. Yeah, everything's run by the community, and somebody told me one day, basically, if these events succeed, it'll be from the community you've built. So if you're gonna put some trust in them, man, now's the time. And we spent a year pretty much building that up, and we have a lot of fun with it, man. Yeah, we put up 0 for Shark Tank. It got to about 860, and yeah, we're proud of that. It's a group project from through and through. I'm just the middleman bringing it. And if there's ever a time where that starts to decline or not work out, I mean, it was always going to happen. So live and die by the sword that you have going on. So put all your faith in the community that you have, that you support, and they'll support you back. At least that's my belief. Well, it's definitely worked out for you, so you know.
You're only as good as your last stream. So every day before I hit that go live button, I'm extremely nervous. Like I'm thinking, man, I shouldn't do this. We should just do this tomorrow. And then next thing you know, tomorrow's here. Yeah. And then at some point, you got to hit that go live button. There's players waiting. So
yeah. 100%.
I'm sure you've had that as well, where you're nervous before events. Like, I shouldn't do this. Blah blah blah. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely at the point where it's not like I'm like nervous. It's more of like almost like I'm burnt out. It's just like, oh, I gotta fucking do this. Like,
Right. No. It's very true. No burnout. As far if you're doing events and if you're listening, somebody who wants to do events in the future, burnout is a very real thing. It's something I've suffered from many times before. It's something your favorite creators probably suffered from. It's your favorite creator's favorite creator has probably suffered from it before.
And your favorite creator.
Yeah. This goes down generations, man.
Yeah, I'm sure your father's father.
Yeah.
You know.
This goes back to the 1700s, and we're talking about Twitch streaming, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's crazy. Yeah.
It is a real thing. I would say I've gone through burnout in this last year, which is when the channel's been doing really well. I've gone through it about 7 or 8 serious times, and I would say the difference between now and years prior is I go in there in my Discord and the community, and we talk about it together and we figure it out, and we discuss what is working, what is not working. What we basically trim the fat. They tell me, you're doing this well, but people are honest with you, man. If, hey, we like these events, but stop doing these, or this event's taking way too long, we don't like it, or, players will tell you what you want, what they want, and it's up to you to follow it. And then, so definitely the community, man, they've been pretty much the one that have kind of called the shots, man. Like I say, I am the middleman. I'm literally just the guy behind the mic, man. They know what they want, and we try to bring it to them.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you've been putting on some awesome events. You get some of like the best like EU talent. I know you were running NA events. I know you mentioned that you might be running those again as well. But your events are always they're ran really well. You have a really good like a moderation or a TOs and stuff like that. Who put on really good events, and you're doing awesome, man. So it's really cool to hear, and your methods and stuff like that. I had a question and then I lost. What was it? Oh yeah, so
got some hard hitting questions.
Yeah, some hard hitting questions. We're gonna get right to the facts, the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
What makes you most? I'm saying. So you have been like you got Twitch partner and stuff like that. Like you said you basically do this full time. Is there ever any like you said like you get nervous before you go live, but is there ever like because you have been doing well like I gotta sustain this or continue to grow and you either want to over change things or you don't want to change too much because like this is working, so it's like you know what I'm saying? Am I crazy?
No, I see where you're getting at.
Yeah.
There was a period, I would say it was in January, where I had to kind of correct myself. I would say late January or early February of this year, 2025. Because there was a point where I'm like, this is just working out way too well. Like it's gonna keep going like this, and I had to kind of humble myself a little bit. I had to taper my own expectations and realize that settle back down, go back to your roots and stuff, because we were doing NA events, EU events.
Yeah, you were live like in the morning and then like at night, and it was like
like I was there was a point where I was like no lifing it, and I told myself like, man, this is great, but then I kind of crashed hard after doing that. I remember because here's the thing about it is you realize that at some point there is no end to this. And for me, somebody who's always talking about consistency, you have to follow your own rules and stuff. And there became a point where I kind of stopped doing that, and I had to reel myself back in and say, no, go back to EU events, go back to EU hours. And so that's what we did. And it's less content now, but it's consistent, and I can do that every single day now. But going back to, I believe, your question, I'm sorry. Yeah, your original question was saying, can you keep this up? Nowadays, I get, like I told you, I get nervous before every single stream. I always think, man, what if people don't come watch? What if the players don't like the event? What if it lags out? Because we do a lot of international events. I'm like, what if it lags out? Blah blah blah.
Yelling about you about connection issues.
No, of course. Which, in all fairness, is our number one complaint. But what if players don't sign up? Like, there's a host of things I'm worried about. But so far, knock on wood, it's been good so far. Now that the game has ended, though, I do have questions. Yeah.
Because just like I said, you know, when it came to EU stuff, I mean, when you think of EU commentators or tournaments, you know, you think of Rips Arena. But like outside of that, there really is, I know like Josh DQ was doing like the In It to Win It series. But you're kind of like the other, like, you know, like Honcho. Do you think that is something that has like helped you, you know, not, I'm gonna say capitalizing though, so it's like almost a malicious word, but kind of like finding like your niche within that.
You're asking me how I feel about all the EU commentators. They are all absolutely terrible, especially that guy Rips Arena. If you see him, you tell him I'm kidding. No, we love him. No, dude. I think I want to say it was in 2022 when I first started venturing out to EU because I was just kind of curious what else was out there. And I remember I did a stream with Rips one time, and he was telling me about it. And I remember the way, like, how different it was when he was running his events compared to like how I would run my events, where I was just fortunate enough if players showed up. And you remember how it was in Mortal Kombat 11. And then I saw him, and it was basically like they were part of it. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it felt like I got to feel what like a community felt like, and I was very, very fortunate to see that. And I remember I told him, like, hey, I want to be a part of this. How can I do this? Like, and he was like, just start running EU events. Like, he was totally cool about it. And but I remember him telling me though, like, hey, you're not just gonna start EU events and then become, you know, Rips Arena 2 or become, you know, like, you have to work at it. You have to build it. You have to get people's trust. You have to do this, that. And so I just like the energy they bring, and North America is amazing as well. But I think, yeah, we just found our own little niche here. It's after Rips, it's before a lot of other NA events. It gives players something to do in the meantime. And the one thing about our events is that's not eye-opening, or what am I trying to say? The couple things about our events that are not how do I explain that people don't gravitate towards is there is high connection, but that it was me having to make a decision. Do I want to just do an event where EU can't play? And the answer is no. Do I want to do an event where North America can't play? No. I mean,
yeah.
So we had to kind of find a middle ground there, and for some players, I understand it's not for them. You know, you don't want to do the hyping matches, and I completely understand that. But for me, it's about including everybody. So if you're gonna do that, then you gotta go all the way. And we got like, it's funny sometimes we'll get players from like California taking on the like the Middle East, and I'm like, what are we doing? What am I expecting out of this, man? Like,
yeah, what's gonna happen here? Yeah, it's like things like 250, and they're like teleporting all over the place. But I do try to get smart with it. Like, if I know a guy's in the Middle East, I'll try to put him on the same side as players from the EU. Like, you do try to kind of take the load off the players. Yeah, I think that's very smart. It's cool because I've played in some of your events, and I never really. It's because it's like for a lot of people, it's like an ego thing. It's like they're, you know, if they lose, you know, it just, you know, obviously it pisses them off and stuff like that. And I've played. I've been competing for a while. I've been playing so many events, so it's like if I play someone and the ping's 200, it's like it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's not the biggest deal in the world. There'll be another tournament in 2 hours. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I remember. I think one time I played in your event, and the first time I played was in like China or something like that. I remember I asked them, the ping was like 250, and they're like, "Where are you from?" They're like, "Oh, I'm from." I think they said something. It's one of those countries. There, and I was like, okay, I guess we're playing. Like, I don't know, like, what we're gonna do. Like,
they're just letting anybody in, man. They're just letting anybody.
I
didn't know you could play this game in China.
Yeah, I didn't know either. It was just like, yeah, that's what like. I remember him saying China, but like, part of me is like, is it even like, can they even do that? So I was like, it must have been somewhere else, but it was the ping was like 250. And I ended up winning anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You know, I'm flexing right now if you can't see. But
there you go, man. What I would say is we've really tapered back on, because it used to be just a free for all, but then after a while you gotta kind of be smart, because you do have to think about the players. You know, if they're playing in high ping, at least try to give them a good experience. So like if there's somebody like Bandinos, maybe don't match him up against Moaz, who's from Egypt. Yeah, maybe separate them. Yeah. And if they meet in grand finals, then so be it. They know what they're in for. But we do try to cater to the players, man. And I think they definitely can see that, and which is why they're still being very supportive. Thank God. But yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you cater to the players and stuff like that, then they'll keep on coming back. And then you've obviously you've provided a good viewership experience. So I think that's where some people can kind of go wrong with it on their events. It's like they either focus too much on like the stream and like providing a good viewer experience, but then like the players are kind of like suffering in the background, or vice versa, where it's like it's a really good like player experience. I feel like that's something like with like SRS is like I just want to make a good event for the players, you know what I mean, and then it's like okay, well like people want to watch the event, and if it's just people yapping and being silly and the graphics don't look that good, then it's like or no one's gonna watch. It's like that's not sustainable.
You got to find a good middle ground, and as creators, especially online hosts, man, we all have shortcomings, man. Like
Except for me.
Like yeah, of course.
Most people.
I was talking about most people. Yes. I was talking about the 95%, of course. But what I would say is we all have shortcomings, in some areas, and maybe the areas I have covered you need patched, and vice versa. Like I can tell you, like we're not perfect over here. Like we have issues basically every single day that we got to sort out.
Just the TO.
In order. Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff we got to get through just in order to do this. Like I'm sure, you have to go to work, you have to come back, you have to make sure the players are here, you have to make sure the players are checked in, you have to make sure the players that do make it to stream are still here. You have to make sure, if you have moderators that they're able to help you out. For those who don't know, there is a pretty good laundry list of stuff you have to do. You can't just hit go live and expect things to go well.
Absolutely.
But if you're able to get it down, man, and I mean, you've been running SRS for what, 4 years now? 3 years?
Yeah, we're on.
So you guys have your process, man. What I would just say, like regarding what we do, is if something doesn't work out for me, I immediately change it. Like I immediately want nothing to do with it. So we will experiment here and there with different formats and stuff like this. But yeah, no, we try to provide a middle ground experience for viewers and players. But yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, you definitely you come up with like your systems, and you come up with like you kind of just have like it down. Like I said, I've been running SRS for I think it might be over 4 years at this point. But around that long. I was TOing like my Smash local even before that, so I have a lot of tournament experience when it comes to TOing. I don't know where I was going with this. I just started bragging about how long I've been TOing for, and that's it. And that's it.
No, I'm saying you've been out here as well, man. You know the grind, you know the stresses, it was cool, man. Well, like even before I started like coming back to the tournament host, I was listening to your podcast and stuff, and I remember some of the struggles that you were going through and stuff like that, and probably still do go through. It's something that we all do. But I guess the core message is the show must go on. If you're not feeling good, this and that. My biggest, I guess it's like an reaction. I always think that the sky is falling if one thing messes up. Like if one player DQs, like my mind instantly goes to just don't do a stream today. Like it's weird how it works, and then I have to kind of like override it and be like, no, just relax, But yeah, no, dude, we all go through our stuff, man, and even the top Mortal Kombat hosts, man, they have to do their due diligence, man. But a solid mod team and a solid player base, man, it can do some pretty good work.
Yeah, well, that's what I was originally trying to get at, and I forgot that I work on Sundays too. So it's like we host Shari Sundays on Sundays. Go figure. And so I work, and then it's like, I gotta do the seating, and it's like, okay, I gotta figure that out like on my lunch break. So it's like my Sundays literally wake up, work, run SRS, go to sleep. Like for 4 years. For 4 years, that's been always Sundays. But it's like you said, I think it's like it's the consistency, and two, it's like when I have it set up like that, it's like, all right, like maybe I don't feel like doing it, but you do it, and then usually it's by the time you get started and stuff and things are underway. It's like before it starts, it's like, oh man, sometimes it's just like I don't want to do this. But then once you get into it, stuff like that, and you're commentating, and the matches are happening, and players are enjoying themselves, and people in chat are liking and stuff like that. It's like, all right, yeah, this is what you do it for, basically.
It's the two feed into each other, and that's what I say about chat as well. Is somebody comes in here with 1,000 emotes, man, I'm gonna, hey, what's up, man? Talk to me. How's everything going, man? Blah blah blah. And if Nikito the One comes into chat, Nikito, watch this Quan Chi we got right here, and then yeah, it's just building a relationship with the players. Like you go into my Discord after an event, dude, we're all just talking shit and just kind of having fun. And if a player lost, somebody's clowning on him, and then we clown on that guy. There's a nice little after party we have. Yeah, dude, I think that's what I was missing for the first couple years. I don't know exactly what I was trying to do, and I think that's maybe I'm not the only one. I don't know what the goal was. I thought it was just kind of cool sitting in front of a camera going live all the time. I thought there was something cool about it, like novel. And then after a while, it's like, okay, you really got to lock in, and if you're trying to do something here, what is it you're trying to do? And I had a good amount of time to think about it. So yeah, no, we're still going. Like, yeah, we got to stream tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna do well. Maybe, hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll know. Like, we will comment in the comments because the tournament will have happened now. But like, this event did terrible. It was awful. All the fears we talked about came true. Like in that event, everything. Literally, 2 people watched the entire time. That was only.
This guy, in fact, did fall.
It literally fell right on his house. Actually, it was unfortunate.
Yeah. Let me ask you though. You've what do you call it? You're talking about my commentary style and whatnot. What exactly is it that you tried to do when you were commentating? This isn't me like being analytical or nothing like that. But like, what is the approach? Because I'll be honest with you, even still to today, I'm still in a bit of I don't know exactly what I should try to be. Do I want to try to go to be analytical? Do I want to be more funny and entertaining? What is it exactly like you bring? This is just me picking your brain.
I love sports. I've been watching sports my whole life since I bonded over with my family and stuff, basketball, football, baseball. And so the way it works is in sports commentary, there's basically like 2 roles. There is the color commentator, and that's the person who's usually more analytical, and they'll kind of talk about like, oh, this happened in this play and stuff like that, usually when there's like stoppages. And then there's the play-by-play person, and that's the person who's calling, it's like, oh, this person takes a 3, he made it, or this person, the shot got blocked, just like that. And so usually when I'm commentating with someone else, because like say most of the time I'm commentating with someone else, whatever role they're playing, I try to play the other one. So if they're kind of doing the play-by-play and kind of talk about what's happening in the match, then I'll try to be more analytical and talk about like, oh, the frame data, or like, oh, he did this, or there was this mind game, or you know what I mean, like that, and vice versa. If they're kind of more the analytical, like doing that, then I try to be more play-by-play and talk about just what's happening in the match currently and stuff like that. I was fortunate that my brother was in college he did commentary, so he kind of like he was the color commentator, so I kind of learned a little bit just from like watching him and stuff, and him like letting him talk about it and stuff. It's like, okay, so and then that's kind of how I took it from there. Does that make sense?
No, it's a good approach. So you kind of try to gauge where your commentator is at, and then see what other you kind of building around them, I guess, in a way. To kind of, if they're going to be that guy, they're going to be this guy. I guess with me, basically, it's basically, I don't know what I'm getting into when I ask somebody to commentate with me. And I've kind of committed so hard to this louder is better mentality that I don't know how I would build around somebody. I don't know how much of a chameleon I could be in that aspect. If Jeezy, who we love, comes on and starts, cracking jokes and being funny, like I don't know what to do. I'm just kind of like, oh, that's great, Jeezy, man, that is fantastic. But by the way, we got to focus. I don't know.
By the way, this crazy thing just happened. He's at a 50% combo.
Exactly.
It started off like this. It was a reversal punish that was frame perfect.
yeah. Like I'm gonna start talking about like, and that's the other thing, dude. Like I don't play too much of the game itself to really have too much of an input. Like I've watched enough to know the basics and whatnot, but if somebody hits a fatal blow, just destroy your mic.
Yeah, the fatal blow.
It's kind of you don't want to overly ham it up, but you do want to provide an experience to where they know like this guy lost his fucking mind. All right, I guess I'll be back tomorrow. So it's more like that, and it was funny watching it evolve. Honestly, like I remember Rips came into my chat one day and says, "Hey, Vape, your voice is getting a little bit deeper. I wonder why." And then you fast forward like 8 months, and it sounds absolutely nothing like what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And it's just like you don't notice it. It's like people who like go live in Brazil and start getting like the accent. Like you don't know where it comes from, I guess. But yeah, dude. No, it's I mean, I guess as your stream evolves, so do you. Maybe that's part of it. But
Yeah, no.
I guess so, man.
For sure. Because I've been playing your events for a while, and definitely like it's something that like I kind of noticed, and something that has made me want to be a better commentator is, bringing like that energy and that like engagement that will at least either engage with the chat or keep them watching at least. For sure, because it's something that something that obviously you do, something that like Rips Arena does. Like I watch something that even someone's really good at it is Destroyer. So he's known for just screaming. Like,
yeah. And it's something like I don't know how to explain. Like you can't just sit there and do it the whole time. Like I will calm myself down from here and there and just be like, all right, let's focus on this. Somebody's in chat, talk to them. But when something happens, man, let the chat know this was, because not everybody in your chat is going to be an experienced player. There may be somebody who's tuning in for the first time, or maybe they don't watch a lot of Mortal Kombat. They don't know the significance of a frame trap or a fatal blow or a 99% comeback, how hard that is to do. So, make them feel it, and that's something I've tried to really stress upon myself, and I'll go back and listen to like my old streams and be like, okay, don't say that anymore. I'm sure you have that as well, where you have like words where you'll say a lot too much. Like I think for me, for the longest time, I would say, with that being said, that'd be like my transitional phrase. I said it way too much.
That being said,
with that being said, I said it while I was showing them the replay. I showed it after the replay. I was just showing it. I was saying it just to say hi to people. Like it was weird.
Hello, with that being said, how are you?
Yeah.
With that being said, I hope you're well. With that being said, I'm doing great.
Dude, it's funny, dude. Like you have no idea where all this stuff comes from, and like you'll say something and like you'll be like, I don't ever remember saying that, or it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of weird. You become like this other kind of persona once you're commentating, and then you just, after it's over, it's like, okay, we're done. Yeah, no, as long as chat's enjoying it, man, we'll keep it going. If they say, hey, Vape, we're a little tired of this, man, switch it up, man. Like I said, as you evolve, so does your stream.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They'll definitely, they'll let you know, whether it's the players or the chat. Usually. I feel like sometimes it's like, sometimes you can get like there's like a loud minority. So it comes with like, obviously as you get more experience and stuff, you can know, but like there's people, I mean, I love Natsukash. He's one of my best friends. I've known him like my whole life. There's times where he'll just be being like super goofy, and there'll be like 2 or 3 people in chat just like egging it on. It almost like takes over the stream and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, like I can't handle this. Just please stop, please stop.
Right. No, he does a great job, man. But yeah, there are times when like you as like the navigator are saying, like you have like your own little time slots for goofy moments, whether it's in between matches and stuff, but you have to know when to reel it back in. So like I'll tell myself after every silly thing I say or announcement to chat, you have to find a way to get it back to the match. You have to find a way to basically bring it back to the promised land. If Ketchup's in chat, and he says something silly, man, what are you even saying? Focus on this Homelander. And then just kind of try to steer it all back. But yeah, no, there's still a lot of shortcomings I have as far as like the way I commentate or even run events for that matter. But if players are happy with it, man, we'll keep it going. But yeah.
Yeah, it's all a process, and like if there is anyone out there that's looking to run events, or maybe you're just looking to get into commentary or anything like that, the best thing you could do is just do it. I mean, if you want to host a tournament, run a tournament, you got a PlayStation or a PC or whatever, you can you can run an event, and then maybe you pay for the online subscription. Or if you want to commentate, there's a lot of events going on. Usually, if you ask, generally, usually you'll find people or stuff like that. Or you can even ask to go on someone's event. And I think that's like one of the bigger things, because it's like, especially when it comes to TOing, it's like you talked about it. It's not like if something's gonna go wrong, it's when something's gonna go wrong.
Sure.
And then you fix it, and then you become better at the problem solving, as it goes.
That's actually might make for a great video on your channel or SRS channel, whatever, and you can take it. I don't care. What is it? There's not really a guide on how to be a tournament host.
That's
like a general overview. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely thought about making at least like how to set up like a challenge or a start GG, like tournament stuff. I know that's relatively easy, but like, because like you usually use challenge, right? Or do you just take signups in Discord these days and then?
Start GG can burn in hell. Right? I don't want. I understand your brain is big enough to be able to work that website, and so is everyone else's, not named me. But I despise that website. I want them out of business, literally now, right now. I use Challenge because it does everything for me. Like, I'm so much of a caveman as far as my brain power that that website just does everything for me. I'm sure there's a lot of features I'm missing that I don't even know. But for what we do, yeah, Challenge. But I know you guys use Start GG, bless you. But yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, well, like when we we used Challenge for MK11 throughout the whole time. What Start GG is better with is if you run like a bigger tournament. So if you have 100 people sign up. Just Start GG is good because then you can break it into like pools, so it's like, okay, now there's 4 pools, stuff like that. So instead of it being like this 100-person like top to bottom thing, they're like in their individual sections and stuff like that. A lot easier to organize and stuff. Also, when it comes to like if you want to customize like the page for like marketability or something like that, like make it look cool and kind of like explain things, like Challenge is super good, but like it's kind of like cut and dry. So it's like, oh, there's the description section, you can read that, and then it's like, okay, there's the bracket, and that's really it.
Oh no, for sure. No, as far as like getting it out to a wider audience, I think Start GG is the way. You can literally go type in Mortal Kombat tournaments and
exactly.
Whereas Challenge, you gotta, here's my link, trust it, bro.
Yeah.
But well, let me ask you. Let me switch gears for a minute. What do you think is the future for SRS as far as what you guys got going? Because I know you guys got the community tour right now. Like, I'm curious myself about a lot.
So in terms of like SRS for the MK tournaments, we're doing the community tour, and then after that we haven't really we were doing like the bi-weekly tournaments, so it's just like tournaments every other Sunday. Because we were literally like, is it? Okay. Yeah, we were doing tournaments basically every Sunday. For years, to the point where like Skash like got a big promotion at work, and he was working a ton of hours. Sandbag took a step away. He hasn't been on with us for a little while now. Like, he's still like a part of the team, but he was like behind. He was either running the tournament, like streaming it, or like commentating and stuff, being there, like TOing. So it's just kind of like our team kind of like priorities kind of changed. So like, all right, let's just go bi-weekly for a little bit. So this is doing it every other Sunday. And then like there was actually this big like outreach. There's like a TO was like, hey, we should all collab on an event, and a bunch of TOs got in like a meeting, stuff like that, for the community tour. Fucking Manny.
There's a cat in here.
Yeah, there's a cat in here now. Yeah,
of course.
I joined the admin and then then of course he's someone with moderator privileges. But yeah, so we're doing the bi-weekly tournaments, and then like you said, a bunch of TOs got together and was like, hey, we should do this community tour thing. And originally it was supposed to be like a bunch of people, like a bunch of TOs, like so there's like 6 or 7 in the original meeting, where we were gonna be like, oh, we're gonna do this, and everyone puts up like $500, and it's gonna be this huge thing. And then a lot of people kind of bailed out and stuff like that, and it kind of just became just us, Demon Lobby, and HGG. So now we're back to doing tournaments every Sunday. And after the community tour, to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what we're gonna do. I did honestly started Shiraryu Sundays and Shiraryu TV as a way just to kind of get back to the community. That's why I originally TO'd, because I always consider myself a player first. I love competing, I love playing the game, stuff like that. And the fact that this community exists is awesome. But the thing is like someone's got to run the tournaments. You know, what I mean, the community doesn't exist without that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like it's like it kind of, you know, it's a give and take. You know, like for you to say like. You say like your community's kind of built all your events, but like at the same time, if you're not there to TO it, and then there's no Vapes Fight Night, there's no Shark Tank,
right?
You know what I mean? So, so yeah, well, I don't know. We'll kind of see what happens. You know, I mean, obviously people, you know, want events or they suggest something, or you know, especially if someone like you know, there was back in MK11, we were just kind of put up like a donation go like, oh, if you. You know, if we get a certain amount of subs, or if someone donates, we'll run this XYZ bracket. You know what I mean? So it's like someone was like, "Hey, we'll give you $100 to run this tournament." I'm like, "Why not? You know, if that's what you guys want."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know.
No, yeah, for sure. No, it has to make sense on both fronts. Is the way that's the way I've always seen it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the community tour is doing a lot of good work for your channel, HTD and Demon Lobby. I feel like you guys are doing a good job. What do you call it? I would love to do that for Europe, man. I would wish there could. I'm sorry. I wish there could be a way to do that for them. Unfortunately, I don't think there's enough hosts for it. I think there's me, Rips, and then I'm trying to think. Josh is still around. I just don't know if he's maybe after Final Combat or something.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure about that. But
I know Geo.
So
do you know Geo?
Geo.
Yeah,
Yes,
he runs some EU events here and there.
That might be worth something looking into. It's crazy how even now we're doing a podcast, but I'm like thinking about like,
yeah,
dude, that's just, dude, like that's kind of how like I'm wired right now. I'm like, I'm always like thinking like, dude, like I get the worst amount of sleep, dude. Like I have the toughest time sleeping. I don't know about you, but like I sleep for like 5 hours a night. And I'm waking up, checking the Discord. I want to make sure everything is still kind of here. Like I'm weird like that.
Yeah. But that's good because you're being active and you're kind of constantly keeping it going and putting in work, whether that's like you said, the Discord or stuff like that, or even like responding to YouTube comments, or like just someone reaches out to you in a DM like, how do I play in your event, stuff like that. It's all like work that you put into that. So.
I do think that there needs to be a time where I need. That's my one. I would say that's one of my worst flaws. Though, is I need to learn when to turn that off.
Me too.
Yeah, because like for me, there is never an off button. Like I was at like friend's house the other night, and all I could think about was, when should I announce the new series? This and that. And I'm like, I have to kind of like realize like when to kind of stop. And but the thing is, like, you do this every day, so how can you? Your body's kind of wired to it. But that is one thing I am trying to learn how to do better at, and one shortcoming I do have. If you're live twice a week, I think it's kind of cool. Like, you think, oh, we'll worry about that on Tuesday or Wednesday, but like, yeah, I don't know. That's one. Every day. Yeah, that's one thing that I wasn't prepared for doing this. But a lot of people know I'm influenced by Rips. Basically, a lot of the stuff he does, I do as well. We do change it up. We do different formats. We do this. We do that. We have different players. But yeah, that man heavily influenced me, man. That man. I have literally, I think, my career to thank to that man. He knows it too, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one person to model yourself off after in the community, I think that was probably the best person to do it. I mean, his events, I mean, the community that he was able to harbor, from the commentary to his consistency to the way his streams look, the graphics and everything. It's just like, if you're someone out there looking to model your events after someone, that's definitely the dude to do it for him. Like I said, like all around, even like the commentaries he has on like Fabs, amazing commentator. That's the guy he has on the most and stuff. But even other people, and he gives a bunch of people opportunities and stuff like that. I know Miss Me Seeks, the person I did the last podcast with, even mentioned that like she got on the pro comp because they saw her commentating on Rips Arena and liked her. So.
Yeah, no, Meeseek's a goat, man. She does a tremendous job, and congrats to her, by the way, for getting on the pro comp, man. Yeah, dude, no, I've told you before, but I've learned a lot of things from that guy, man. And I guess one thing I learned from him was he is the star of his show. Like when you go to Rips Arena, you're getting a gigantic dose of Rips, and I there's like little nuances he does that I always thought were super, super cool. I've always admired the way he runs events. And it's funny, we have little jokes and stuff where like I'll put up a graphic and he'll in all caps, here's more shit Vape stole from me. And it's literally graphics he gave me as like hand-me-downs. Like, hey, do you want this? I'm not using it anymore. But I'll never hear the end of it, man, because like we're both in on it, man, because we both know how similar our events are. Obviously mine are heavily influenced by his. But there is a fair degree of separation. Like there's some stuff I want to do, but I'm like, no, it's a little bit on the nose. It's way too close.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just don't do that.
Yeah.
But I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. I have a tremendous respect for a lot of hosts, man. Like and players and everything, man. But yeah, no.
Not
the
SRS,
scene
though.
is
Just make sure.
yeah, no, specifically not SRS.
Like Leaf Live, Nurse Jazzy, Edenian Knights, there's Wuxi Temple, Champion of the Realms, Coliseum. Definitely not sure which one it is,
Yes.
But there's
I think it's kind of good that everyone has like their own like flavor, something that sets them apart. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like I don't know, just everyone kind of does. Everyone kind of has their thing, and I think that's really really cool. And players, they can play for whoever they want. They are kind of they vote with their signups, essentially.
Yeah.
So. You guys are never short on signups. I can always see that. There's always like 50 players in the bracket.
Yeah, that's something like I said I've always prided myself on. Like, Skash, we kind of, when it comes to SRS, we kind of always done stuff together, and he has always been someone like, oh, we need to increase the production value, we need to get new graphics, and I've always been someone like, how can we make the tournaments better for the players? Like, what can we do? Is it like more prize pools? Is it like making sure things are run more efficiently, making sure we have like multiple TOs, so like the scores are getting reported, the brackets are moving and stuff like that. And that's something I've always prided myself on. Whenever that goes wrong, like if something goes wrong with the stream and stuff like that, that obviously sucks. But it's like usually when it's like when there's a bracket problem, when someone's like dissatisfied, that's when I take like the most personal, like how can I make sure that doesn't happen again?
Right. No, I can definitely understand where you're coming from. It's kind of cool to see a different perspective on things. I would say I try to make things as good for the players as we can, and we've kind of have them, I would say, a little bit kind of wired now, kind of how things are going to go, what to expect. The rest is really in their hands. If they win, congratulations. But yeah, I see 50 players in your bracket, man. I'm just like, man, I just want 8, man. Just give me 8. That's all I want, man. I don't want to keep track of 42 other people. Yeah, but I can definitely understand, like, it's more inclusive, I guess, in a way, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's open, like, it's always been like a thing that I always wanted in my events to be like open signups. Like if you wanted to play, and like we're North America mainly, but as long as you fit within there, you have a wired connection, and now it's whatever platform you want other than Switch, which that's they can hold that. But
Switch, no, Switch is a thing. I do own this game on Switch, by the way.
Yeah.
It is cinema.
Yeah,
let me tell you that.
The graphics must be deplorable. I can only imagine.
It is good. I mean, depending on what your definition. Oh, 30's on a good day. We're talking 18 max, dude. Holy moly!
Online, that's crazy. If you're playing that.
Yeah, I almost held a Switch tournament. I have no idea why. What compelled me to do it? I don't know.
That would be a cool idea. I would like to watch that because like the graphics are PC, it looks a little crispier, and PlayStation and Xbox are both have good graphics, but like it's definitely significantly worse. But like it does have its little kind of looks nice. I know Mike Metroid like a while ago did a stream where he was playing it on the Switch. And it was like it was definitely significantly worse, but like it had its nice like cartoons, you know what I mean? It's like
it's cool that you can make out the character outlines on the Switch version.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a huge plus. Yeah. You can tell when the cameos are on screen. Yeah, dude, if it was up to me now, and if I could actually find my capture card under my laundry basket or wherever the hell it is, I would stream on PS5, man. PC streaming is not the move.
Okay.
I mean, it looks cool, but like you're sacrificing so much more. Like I can't tell you how many times my PC is ready to give out, or there's a Steam update every Tuesday while we stream. We have to literally wait for it.
Really?
Yeah. We literally know when it's coming. We're like, everyone, all right, hold up, 10 minutes, and it's bad for viewership. It's bad for players' attention. It's not good. But let me ask you, what do you think the future is of this game as far as maybe tournament hosts online as far as the game period, because it was announced that this game is essentially over. What do you think is gonna? How do you see things unfolding?
Yeah, so we're done getting any more DLC, so that's done. You know, all the characters that are in the game are in the game. They did say they're gonna be patching the game. I don't know how significant or insignificant those are going to be. My theory, basically, since they announced this pro comp before anything happened, people were calling me crazy, was that the pro comp was going to happen, and then around a month or two after that happened, we were going to get some sort of announcement for a new game, whether that was a teaser or whether that was like a full-on, like whatever they call it, like the launch, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, announcement or whatever. And people would call me crazy, but that's kind of been my thing. I think that we'll probably get a few patches, maybe one or two more before Final Combat. And then once Final Combat happens, I'm assuming it's probably going to be done. And then, like I said, we're just going to kind of be on the hook waiting for the next game. In terms of playing and TOing, I think it'll still be fine. Like, people are like, oh, I think a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm only going to play until Final Combat's over. Usually that's people who are like going to make Final Combat. And
yeah, exactly.
That's
like people have
16,
nothing to do with it.
People. Yeah, that's like, yeah. So it's like, you know, and there's people who, a lot of those people like Sonic Fox, they're not playing in any online brackets. Like Ninja Killer, not really playing in online brackets. You know, like Tweety, wasn't really active for a lot of the game and stuff like that. So a lot of these players that are going to be in Final Combat, they're some of the best in the world, aren't really too active in the online scene anyway. So I feel like that is not going to affect, honestly, too many people. I think we'll probably be able to run events until, basically the next game comes.
I think so as well. And I think what a lot of people are looking at is the end of MK11's life cycle. The problem is, or the difference is, I should say, is that MK11, we were left in the dark for, what was it, like a year and a half? It felt like a long time. So we were waiting for however long, and there was a clear point when you were doing events for MK11 when it was kind of like, okay, we're done here. You could just kind of feel it.
Yeah.
I think so, at least. I'm sure you guys did as well.
Yeah.
Where we were trying to, it didn't seem to matter what the prize pool was, who entered the bracket. There was just this kind of feeling that, like, we've done this since 2019, and we're kind of over it.
Yeah, because there was a while where, like, we didn't get an update. Sorry to cut you off. We didn't get an update, and we had no announcement for a new game either. So it was like, kind of sitting there like, okay, like, this is the game that's most recent, so I guess we just keep playing it. But keep running events for it.
You know what's crazy though is, I mean, I'm an MK11 head. I know you are as well. Isn't it crazy how there's so much more people willing to play MKX than MK11? People do not have a fond memory of that game. There's a clear point when we were done. Where with this game, I still feel like there's so much left to find out. Like, I'll be honest, this game didn't really gravitate towards me as a player necessarily. It's very fun to watch, so I do like watching it.
100%.
But I still think that there's a lot to mess with. There's so much variety to go. I feel like this game could go another year as is. At least I think so. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I definitely could see that being the case, especially with like the cameo system, where it's like you have so many different options. Where it's like in MK11, even with customs, like what you had was like you had like these kits, and then that was kind of it. And then even at that point, there was like these meta variations where it's like you kind of like people gravitated towards particular moves, and there was some variety, but wasn't a ton when it came to character to character. But in this game, it's like, I mean, there's 18 different, essentially move sets, because I feel like the cameo system in a way is kind of a take on the variation system. Where you get like each character, you get like 3 or 4 moves. Tremor, you get a bunch more, but then Kennedy, that was kind of his unique thing. But yeah, like you kind of pair them, and then they kind of work different ways. Where it's like, with like Kung Lao, for example, he was he kind of like gave you a bunch of plus frames or like safety, but like with Sindel, you throw the hat down and then you do the flow, and now it's like it's a 50-50 or stuff like that. So it's like characters, may be using the same cameo, but the way they're able to utilize them are very different.
Right. No, I would definitely agree with that. I feel like this game was built for longevity, and I feel like a lot of people know I was not very happy with this game on launch, but I've never been a doomer about MK1. I've never been somebody who's going to sit there and be like, this game's bad, blah, 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 fill in the blank. I've never been like that. I've also never been its highest praiser. I'm just kind of middle ground. Like, I'm okay with what we have. and I do enjoy watching the games. I do enjoy the players. There's players I get super excited for when I see that they've signed up, or that they're going to be coming to the tournament, or even if they're watching, man. Stuff like that. I like. There's a lot about this game that still excites me, and as long as I feel like you're excited as a tournament commentator or a tournament host, I feel like you still got more to give. Like with MK11, it was 30 tournaments in a row of Disarded and Takunada winning with Sub-Zero. That was oh man. That was truly me asking myself, what am I doing out here, man? That was rough.
Yeah.
And then I would try to invite more people to come play, and then they would see them in the bracket, and it's like, what are we doing here? No.
Especially like the NA people. I'm like, oh, I'm not playing Disheartened. I'm not playing Disheartened.
Hey, dude, I used to tell them they sign up at the end, because if they sign up immediately, we're gonna have 4 signups forever, man. Tell them just last minute signups, man. It was a thing, man. But on the other hand, though, you guys have been hosting Injustice tournaments for I don't know how long now. Is there a little bit of you that's kind of like, we told you so? Is there a little bit of that?
In terms of like, how they're doing, like in a positive way or like a negative way? Like,
no. I mean, I guess in a positive way, where it's like, is it where like you guys feel like a little bit ahead of the game because you're like, we've
been running now the potential Injustice 3. It seems like that's something that's been kind of like across the community, kind of like accepted. People are expecting an Injustice 3. If we don't get that, then it'll be kind of like news. But in a little way, I was thinking, kind of theorizing that like if it wasn't going to be a 2-year lifespan, which was my original theory, like when they said like there was going to be cameos, I was like, I don't think they're going to let a game with such a unique thing, the first Mortal Kombat came out in 1992. And they're gonna and it's been working. One of the best-selling games in terms of like casual, like what a fighting game is. They're gonna know MK before maybe other things. Like maybe they'll say Smash, but then if you don't include Smash, it's probably MK, right? So it's like they've had this formula that's worked, so they're gonna deviate from it and then have it be a super long game. Like I just didn't think that was gonna be the case. And I was like, if they're gonna go 2 years, it's probably gonna be Injustice. And then so I was kind of like figuring that. I liked Injustice, like in terms of like you said, like watching it. I love watching. I think it's awesome. I think it's so cool watching Batman fight Swamp Thing. You know what I mean, or something like that. Like it's just like watching these superheroes just battle it out. Like the Ninja Turtles are in the game. I think it's badass. So it's just really cool to watch. And I understand like when the game was like the main game. I think I've kind of realized over time that like whenever a game's the main game, everyone's gonna hate on it and look at the past games of rose-tinted glasses. Like, oh my god, MK11 was so much better than MK1. Oh my god, Injustice 2 was so much better than MK11. Or MKX is so much better than Injustice 2. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I actually think like all the games have a place. Like when you talked about how you didn't really jive with MK1. There was a time where you were running MK11 brackets, and I tried to enter with almost all of them, because I still really like MK11. I wish there was a tournament series out there for MK11 because I would play in it. Because I think all these games have place in the community, and part of why I started the tournaments was like almost like a little bit out of like spite, where people would be like, oh my god, I want to play Injustice 2, you know what I mean, like Injustice 2 is my favorite game, or like MKX or like MK11. All right, like I'll run in events, I don't play. And I was like, and it eventually came down to there's this group of people who kind of just play Injustice 2, and that's like the only NRS game they play, or for a lot of them it's like the only fighting game they play, funny enough.
Right.
And those are mainly the people that sign up, all the people that said, oh, I love Injustice 2, that play MK1, still just play MK1 and don't really play in those tournaments. Nowadays, like people are, I'm hosting a tournament tomorrow night, and people, because of, the end of Mortal Kombat 1, quote unquote, and, the potential Injustice 3, a lot of people are getting back into Injustice 2, so that worked out in that sense. So I'm kind of ahead of the curve because of running Justice events.
Right. No, it seems to be a good market to get into, and also to kind of diversify your portfolio for online events, man. Yeah.
Because there are a lot of MK1 events.
Yeah, and like something to your point, like I always see you posting and stuff like that when it comes to there should be a community series for every event. Yeah. Right. For every game rather.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see it. I don't think there is one at all for MK11. That might be something to.
Yeah, no, I like if I had more time, I would definitely run an MK11 series, whether that was like a weekly or bi-weekly. I would love to. Just like I said, it's a matter of time. Because I know there's people out there that have played it. I know like Ghost is brought up. Of course, Jackie player. It's like, yo,
yeah, of course, right?
Yeah, right. Like, that's all the Codals, Jackies, like
yeah, Utility won't stop talking about it.
Utility is like, of course, you have Jackie player. So. Sure, Kai Body can't wait to get back in the MK11 events.
But my thing is I would love to host MK11. We've even talked about it in recent weeks. It's just I know exactly who's gonna play in it, and I know exactly who's gonna win it.
Yeah,
and so that really kills it for me. Yeah. But if it's something for the community and they just haven't seen the game in so long, then it's for them. Then absolutely. But also we got to go back to my events being cross regional, and I know what comes with that. And it's gonna be tough for me to ask somebody like Ghost to play somebody like Takinada, or Sunio or any of that, for example. I just don't want to ruin their experience, because I ruined it enough for them in Mortal Kombat 1 if they do end up signing up. But definitely would be something cool to do. I think if it's Injustice next, I'll stream it as well. I think that we can keep doing this though until that happens.
Yeah, I think what I would love. I mean, I've obviously talked about it before, but I hope that MK1 continues and people still continue to run events for MK1 if the next game is Injustice 3, because I would still play in it. I'd bust out the Reptile, I'd still grind the game here and there and stuff like that. Because honestly, I really enjoy Mortal Kombat 1. Like I enjoy playing it. I think my character is bad, but
we all do. We all do, man.
Everyone does, yeah, exactly. So buff Reptile, please, for the 14th time.
I know, right? Every single patch.
Every single patch, it's like a little bit. It's like they put the spoon like so close to your mouth, but you can't.
Yeah, they want to do it. Hey, man, it could be worse. You could be playing Shang Tsung, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, no, that's fair.
I always tell my players that because of Shang Tsung being bad, we have so many events. Because if the character was good, maybe I would be competing. Probably not, but I would be competing and not doing nearly any of these. So Shang Tsung being bad actually had a weird ripple effect that here we are now. Some people say he's good with Tremor, but everybody's good with Tremor. That's not exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that, I kind of like that, how there's like, oh, this is meta cameo, and it makes every character good. It was kind of like Chameleon, where it's like, every character's good with this cameo, or every character's good with Fair, every character's good with Tremor. So it's kind of like gives you a fair shot, because we saw Faceall putting in a ton of work, Combo Breaker with Shang Tremor.
Oh, he's my favorite player to watch of all time. Literally, I love watching him compete, man. He I don't know what it is about him, man. He just has that aura where he knows how to play the game. He's a very good guy. He's very fun to have around. Great to have on your stream. But yeah, no, I brought it up to you 100 times, man. Are you ever gonna do some EU events? You gotta get some love over to them.
Yeah, no, I would love to. I brought it up with like Skash before.
Tomorrow.
Prove you actually want to do it. But like a big thing is just like a matter of time. Like ideally, I always had the vision of like, okay, like on Sunday, we run an EU event in the morning, and then we run SRS at night, and because like in the morning our time is like nighttime their time. And that was kind of like my vision of it, and I was like, okay, we'll do it like that. But yeah, I work on Sundays, so that's kind of hard to do, and it's mainly just to finding, because usually it's like, if I have a day off, then it would have to be on a day that I had off to run it at a time that's reasonable for you. I would like to, though, hopefully in the future. So like I said, it's mainly just a matter of time. Like I said, I'd love to run MK11 events. I would love to run more MKX events. And stuff like that, more even MK1 events. It's just a matter of the time. Because I also, I compete as well, so that takes up a lot of time and stuff. Like I'm practicing. I stream, like in the morning, like Monday through Friday and stuff like that. Just for my personal stream, like playing Combat League or sets with viewers or whatever. But yeah, no, I definitely now that we've done this and stuff like that, I'll probably reach out to you for some advice. I'll try to do something for sure.
Oh no, dude, for sure, dude. Isn't it crazy? I was just thinking about it as you were saying that, because everything right now is tournament series essentially, other than Rips. But isn't it crazy how MK11 there were so many exhibition series that you never see any anymore? Like not one. I want to do it. I'm thinking
like a big barrier for the Injustice 2 tournaments is that there's been people who've been playing that game since it came out, and that game came out 7 years ago. So it's like, or 8 years ago at this point. Yeah, 8 years ago. So it's like there's just such a barrier to entry where it's like, oh, I'm someone who's brand new. It's like, go fight this person who's been playing the game for 8 years, and that's that's not going to be fun. So it's like, I think that would be a cool spot for an exhibition series where it's like, all right, you can kind of mix and match who's going to play each other. So it's like, oh, these two players who've been playing for 8 years, they can play each other, and these two people who have been playing for 2 months, they can play each other. So it's like they have, a competitive set, but it's not like I said, in a tournament where you're going to get seeded to play the best player because you're the newest player.
Right.
Which I think would be cool.
That was something. No, it'd be very, very cool, man. And I still think exhibitions do have their place. But it was weird though because I did one. I think it was what year were we in? I did one in like the end of 2024. I did an exhibition series, and it was so interesting dealing with the players because they were like, all right, when's my next match? They were just so calibrated to tournaments that they didn't understand that that's it till tomorrow. But yeah, no. I would love to do exhibitions again, man. They the stakes aren't as high, which I understand it means hype isn't as high. But I definitely do think they have their place, man. I would love to do another one. In fact, I'm thinking about it right now as we're talking about this. This might be I don't know.
I think it's cool. Like I said, there's low stakes. It depends how you do it. Sometimes like we did like Survivor U exhibitions, and it was literally just you got like a first 3 or first to 5, and that was it. There was no points. There was no like you just played. You got to set on stream. And we made like a card and stuff like that. If you won your match, we gave you like a shout out, but that was it. Like it wasn't like you were making any money or anything like that.
We got you a card.
Yeah, here's a card. Congratulations. What about like fight card? You know what I mean? Like,
you did it.
Congratulations. What's your address?
Yeah, bro. Like. We'll send you whatever in Skash's couch or whatever, bro. But like, that's crazy.
15 cents, man.
I would say though, that is one Achilles heel of doing tournaments though, is if you do tournaments constantly, people expect something.
Yes.
And that is one thing because all our events are crowdfunded. So there is a little bit of heat on you to basically say like, I hope things work out today. I hope they work out good.
Yeah.
This is that. And
someone donates.
Well, essentially, but not only that, but like you just kind of hope it's a good atmosphere because people will show up if they know it's like, good exposure or, fill in the blank. And if you're not on your A game and you're not coming to life that day, that can affect, like them saying like, man, I don't want to play here no more.
100%.
Or something like that. Yeah. Like it can affect, like your general mood can affect the atmosphere. So that's why I've always just been like, stay on all the time. It's 2 hours. You can hold it together. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And there are times, dude, like when I'll be yelling so much, dude, like after like a sequence, bro, I have to like grab my face because I'm like, bro, please don't pass out right now. Please. Like, this is not ideal. Like, it's like it's not like just free. Like there is a cost to it. But...
Yeah, it's not free energy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like after an event, do you feel like physically like tired? Because it's like during the day for you, right? So it's like kind of earlier.
It's at 1 p.m. my time when we're doing events.
Yeah.
Some days are better than others, but there have been some times where I literally just collapse at my desk where I'm just like, all right, I'm so glad that's over.
Yeah.
But and the players know it too, man. They know how much, it takes out of me and but it's at the same time it's my choice, I'm the one choosing to do that. Who am I really going to blame for that?
Sure.
This is a product that you created, so now you got to kind of live up to it and there does come pressure with that, but there also does come reward with that. So that's why I'm always trying to just do that every day. I'll watch back my old streams and be like, okay, say less of this, say more of that, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't know. That's just kind of what I do and what I go through. But, what do you call it? Let me ask you this, because I have had this question for a while. What would you say? Because I think where I got it twisted somewhere along the way is I thought everyone kind of had the same goal, and maybe that's not the case, and that's something I'm kind of learning right now. What would you say your goal is as far as being a host? Because you talked about why you started, but what is your goal in the scene? Is it just community support, do you think, for the most part? Or
so that's definitely how it started. My goal would be like eventually, if you're just doing something volunteer and you're not getting anything out of it, eventually you know, the well is just gonna dry up. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
if every day, you know what I mean, like we're showing up and we're putting up money for events and we're going live every single Sunday night, and it's just, you know, it's just money going out and stuff like that. So you know, I want to do it for community support, but like I want to grow it to the point where it's at least self-sustaining. Where, you know, it's not, you know, money out of my pocket that, you know, I make at my job, then go and just give to the players. That way, so that essentially I can do more of it. That's basically my goal is so I can, you know, obviously if we start making money off it and stuff like that, then it's like, oh, that gives a possibility to run bigger events, or it's like, or I can, you know, give myself a little of the money so, you know, I can, you know, put more energy and time into it and stuff like that. So that's kind of, you know, where I'm at. It's like, first get it to self-sustaining and then kind of grow from there. Yeah.
No, I can completely understand that. What do you call it? I don't think my goal is that different. Like, I think my first and foremost is I want to entertain. Like that is kind of what I want to do. So is there some you know, self-led tendencies, I guess is the word? Yeah, absolutely. But I think we all do have that to a degree. I just think we're all different variations of pretty similar goals. Like, let's face it, man, like we've all been here for a while, and I don't think without a general goal or drive, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. Like, people give up along the way. We've seen me do it many times, you know, but as long as you have that one core thing of I want to do this for a reason, I feel like you will keep on doing. You'll find a way. Like, I know you guys took a break for a little while, came back, and now it's bi-weekly, but it's still going on, you know what I mean? So I mean, there still is some drive there is what I'm getting to.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you know, they goes to like the consistency thing, and then it's like, you know, it's a lot of it's like a double-edged sword, but it's like, okay, well, if you're too consistent, then you're gonna burn out, and then it's like, okay, well, it's like, you know, if you're constantly doing events and you're personally not getting anything out of it, like, you know, you want to do it to support the community or whatever, but if you're not getting anything out of it, then the well is just gonna dry up. So it's like, you know, if you want to keep giving to the community, I think it's kind of like, you know, a charity needs to make money. You know, a nonprofit makes a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a very real thing, man.
Yeah,
and
like,
I mean, I'm sure for you guys it's more because you guys have been doing it actually a lot longer than myself. But what do you call it? You know, I can only speak, but I know you guys have given out a lot of money and time to the players, and you know, I don't know. It's I think that work has already been put in. People know who you guys are. It's weird though. In many ways, I still feel like, you know, I have to prove myself every single day. Because if I have a bad stream though, dude, guess what I'm thinking about all day?
Bad stream. Like, what went wrong? How can I prevent that from happening? You know, who I gotta apologize to if it's a player or something, like I DM them, be like, oh, because like
I'm like, dude, I'm thinking about like, dude, I'm like, all right, I have to rework my Discord, change the event series, no more turn. Like, I go crazy overboard. But it's just a bad stream. Maybe you're streaming when Pro Comp was. Maybe it was a Sunday. I don't know. Who knows what it was? But like, it's crazy. Like afterwards, you're like, no, I need to fix this now. But I think that's just kind of a bit of obsession in a way. And there is healthy obsession, but there is a little bit overboard. I tell you, that's what I'm trying to kind of turn off. But
no, 100%. Because you want to bring the best events that you possibly can. So like the last tournament we did, so like the Coliseum, that's something that's like has been a thing basically for the entirety of Mortal Kombat 1, is that Coliseum has been going on basically the same exact time as Shroud Rave Sundays. So that's something like Aquaman has been amazing. So this isn't like any sort of like he raids us basically like every night and stuff like that. So he's very much for the community and stuff like that. Does a ton of stuff for the community. Absolute legend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's like, you know, it's like Ripstream and Aquaman, or like those are those are the two guys. If you want to run the best events you possibly can, model after those two guys.
Absolutely.
And so one of the players was in the top 8 of Coliseum, and it's kind of like, I know people, what they'll do is, you know, it's like if you're playing at my event, you're not playing at any other events, which I totally get and understand. We have never really been like that, because it's like, it's like we don't own Sundays. You know what I mean? Sunday's a popular day to run a tournament. You know what I mean?
NFL owns Sundays. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
NFL owns that. They made a movie about it.
True, exactly. They made a movie. True. We don't own NFL on Sunday. it's also like the Coliseum. It's only like the top 8, so it don't want to be like, oh, you made top 8 in Coliseum. Congratulations! Now you can't play in SRS because you're in top 8, and it's only like a couple of matches and stuff like that. But 2 of the players that played in the top 8 had to play each other in our bracket, so the match ended up taking forever, and it slowed up the bracket for like one side of it. And there was this one player that was just waiting forever, and he made like a big deal out of it and stuff. I won't name any names, but it was Enzo.
You go.
No, we talked about stuff like that. Like he had a good point, and he was just like, bro, like I'm waiting forever. Like, you know, I don't get to play in events that often, which, you know, same for me. So if I had to play an event and wait a while, I would be upset as well. So like he had a good point. So it's definitely something, you know, I'll have to work around and stuff like that. Like, you know, if you're gonna play in another event, or if it's gonna be top 8, like you can, but if it's still in a bracket, then, you know, you can get DQ'd at like the TO's discretion, stuff like that, and it's the risk you run. But yeah, stuff happens.
No, I can completely understand. I can completely understand it, man. Yeah. And I was doing that for a while, dude. I can completely understand. And you want to provide the best experience for the players. But unfortunately, I had to look at it like, okay, if I want to give the best experience to the players, I got to think about the overwhelming mass here. And I can understand it the other way, you know. If I was in the tournament, I said I'll be right back, and I got DQ'd, I'd be upset. I can definitely understand it. But I gotta think about it, man. There's viewers here. There's your co-commentator. There's other people in the bracket. You know, nobody wants to DQ. Nobody wants to DQ Diddle, for example. But I'm just kidding. We all want to DQ Diddle. But what is it? we're specifically looking to DQ.
Wait. You let Diddle in your tournaments?
It was a Heidi account. Somebody wasn't looking. I don't know.
It was crazy.
But so. There are, and I think even Rips, dude, he's been talking forever about doing a podcast. I think somewhat this style, just about kind of getting his thoughts out. But
so he's stealing my idea. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. I got to it before he did, though. Let the record show. But he's been talking about kind of some of the issues you do have to go through as you do this, man. There are some tough choices you have to make. And it's not going to get you overwhelming praise, most of them. But people hopefully can understand why you're doing it.
I think not to cut you off, but like, as a TO, I think the hardest decisions are when whatever decision you're gonna make, it's gonna make someone upset. Like when it comes to like, oh, I either am gonna DQ this person, and the person you DQ is gonna be upset, or I'm gonna let them, you know, go play in the other match, and then this other person has to wait, and they're gonna be upset. Sure. And it's like, okay, like damned if you do, damned if you don't, and you kind of just gotta make a decision. It's definitely probably the hardest part of being a TO, or one of.
It's literally you're sitting between a rock and a hard place. Like I've been in that similar situation, where somebody didn't show up for 10 minutes. It says in the rules there's a DQ timer for 10 minutes. You move the other guy on, the other guy shows right back up.
Of course,
and now
how it happens, right?
And now what do you do?
You're like, you got DQs. What? I thought I was gonna be right back. And
But now what the tough part becomes is the guy you moved on, now he's thinking he's in the next round. If you bring him back, then you have to deal with that. So it's a bitter pill you have to swallow. And luckily I got moderators who will say just, you know, that is what it is. Or if I'm there, I'll be like, hey man, sorry about this, but it is what it is. It is what it is, man.
Right. It is what it is. Sorry, man. And they're like, I'm never playing your event again. It's like, all right, man. I guess. I'm sorry.
It's exactly that. And do I gotta get worried about getting flamed on Twitter later? Do I gotta worry about this person? You know, it's always just stuff. And keep in mind, these are free events to join. We're trying to give you a good experience. But you know, it's hard getting 50 plus people to cooperate, man. Imagine doing that in real life, man. It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, no, it absolutely would. I mean, I'm someone who I have TO'd IRL events, and there's been some events that have been really big, and trust me, it's a nightmare because those people because in online events you can almost kind of trust people to kind of like coordinate their matches, but for some reason offline events people love to like sort of sit there and wait for their match to be called, and like you're running and there's like 50 people and they're like and then there'll be like one part of the bracket and losers that's like hasn't played it. You're like, why hasn't they played it? And you look around and like they're sitting on like opposite sides of the room and they're just kind of sitting there like have you guys played it? They're like, no. It's like, play your match. What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
why?
It's
why
like
haven't
people
you played
standing
yet?
around. Yeah. Dude, like I used to coach wrestling, man. There'd be 24 people there, and just trying to get them to do the exact same thing that I've just shown them
Yeah.
is a nightmare. There's people on their phones, they're in the corner, they're talking to other people, laughing, and I'm like, no, like coordination is definitely a skill you either need to have or you can learn. And I feel like you can learn it, man. I wasn't very good at it in the beginning. I'm sure you've gotten a lot better
Yeah,
as time has
absolutely.
gone on as well. But yeah, no, yeah, a lot of these choices people see me make, it's not me just sitting on my bed counting my money being like, haha, this is gonna make things. No, it's nothing like that. Like what it is me being like sitting there holding my face because I'm stressed out and being like, I gotta make a decision here.
Yeah.
This isn't to hurt anybody, it's to hopefully help things out. But yeah, man, just kind of the struggle. This whole like last 7-8 minutes has been just kind of the struggles you go through, and they are there, man. If you're ever gonna do events, there will be some. It's not like you said, it's not if, it's when, you know. But it is rewarding though when you do an event and things are going well. I'm sure you can attest to it.
Yeah, absolutely. When people are really driving, you know, and people are enjoying it, and you know, there's a bunch of people watching, and like, you know, just it definitely feels nice. It's definitely, you know, it's awesome, and it's a very, very rewarding. But yeah, I feel like I've definitely taken up enough of your time, Mr. Vape Coach.
You have actually taken up way too much of my time. Let's not get it. Go ahead.
But is there anything that you thought maybe I would ask, or anything that you want to talk about, or any like shout outs you want to give? You know, the floor is yours.
No, I think we're good. Shout outs to everybody still playing this game, keeping it alive, man. Doing events, running events, offline events, online events. Do not want to give any shout outs to Rips Arena because I do not like that guy. I'm kidding now.
Definitely not.
Rip-
I mean, only people
Rips,
with
if
hair
you-
get shout outs.
Only people with hair. You shitters. Nah, Rips, if you're listening to this video and you made it this far, man, there's another mention, man. We love you. Other than that, no, man, I got nothing for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe, man. Thanks for listening to me and Poseidon for the last hour or whatever it was. Poseidon, appreciate you for having me, man.
Of course. I'll definitely make sure to leave links to all your social media, you know, your Twitch and your YouTube and stuff in the description. So definitely make sure to check him out because he's been putting up, you know, events. His YouTube's been doing well. You know, his live streams are awesome. So definitely check him out. And you know, if you're EU or maybe even NA, you know, definitely consider getting in on the events because you know, they're fun to play in. You know?
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, guys. We'll catch you later.
And I'll see you guys at the next video.